he gets really bad chest pain. His costochondritis flares up. He can't even walk around the city. Hi everyone, Dr. David Kulla with Synergy Wellness in New York City. Today we have a young gentleman that came in to see me. He lives in the neighborhood that has both costochondritis and hiatal hernia. And a lot of you that watch my YouTube videos know that I specialize in those two conditions. So he's lucky in the sense that he lives right around the corner. Unlucky because he has both conditions. So we're not treating his hiatal hernia yet. Now, his first visit was yesterday, and his costochondritis is more of the issue, the pressing issue, a lot of chest and rib pain. It's not heartburn. He does get some of the hiatal hernia symptoms, not too much of the acid reflux, a little bit of it, right? A little bit, yeah. Okay, I don't know, how many times a week? How many times a week would you say you get?
Maybe 1 to 2, like minimal.
Okay, yeah. Once or twice a week gets the acid reflux. But he does have the other symptoms, a little bit of difficulty breathing. And then after he walks for a block, two?
Yeah, not much, yeah, a block or two.
A block or two. Yeah. He has, he gets really bad chest pain. His costochondritis flares up. He can't even walk around the city. He's not from New York. And that's like the worst thing. You want to walk around the city and explore New York City and everything it has to offer. So I really want to fix this for him so he can enjoy New York City and get his life back. Now, his case of costochondritis has to do with his posture. He has mild scoliosis in the back, in the middle back, and a little bit of weakness in those muscles. So we adjusted him once, and how much improvement would you say you've had in just one since I saw you yesterday?
Just quite a drastic change already. Quite sore still, but I mean,
sure.
As far as being able to breathe and stuff like that, it's definitely loosened up and feel a little safer walking more than just a block.
Great. Now we can follow up with him next week and see how he's doing next week. He'll be doing even better. And then we're going to start treating his hiatal hernia. The reason why we're doing that is his heart rate. So he's wearing a monitor there. What's that, a Fitbit or something?
Yep.
And he's looking at his, is it just telling you your heart rate?
Yeah, I'm just monitoring the heart rate.
Okay. So it's been racing prior to seeing me. He's had it go up to 120?
120, 130 is quite common. Just sitting here, walking. Yep.
Yeah, or even walking. When he gets up in the morning, what was it before you saw me?
140, I guess. Yeah, so it's been
140
with spikes as high as 170.
Wow. With spikes, I don't know if you guys heard that, as high as 170. Right after the adjustment, I think it went down to.
Yeah, yesterday was 85, 80, just.
85. Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was a little bit lower than that. Okay,
I think we got into the 70s. So.
Okay, so we'll be keeping an eye on that, but. One of the complicated or frustrating issues is costochondritis and hiatal hernias have very similar symptoms. And not all of them, but many of them are similar. Like the chest pain is a little different than acid reflux, right? It's a burning sensation, but some people have a hard time differentiating the two, right? They call it chest pain or burning, but usually when they say burning, that's how I know that they're probably talking about GERD or acid reflux. Mm-hmm. But heart racing. So a lot of people with costo and hiatal hernias complain of their heart racing. So we want to make sure, we want to just see which is causing his heart to race, which is creating that excitement of the vagus nerve. And we're going to be monitoring that. And then by next week, when he's feeling better with the chest pain and the costochondritis and also the thoracic pain, he gets upper middle back pain as well. Then next week we'll start treating his hiatal hernia, and he didn't even come in here to see me for the hiatal hernia, ironically. So that's that. I wanted to explain that, and we're going to go ahead and adjust you now. We gave him some heat, so go ahead and lay on your stomach. Now, people that suffer from costochondritis that have scoliosis. He bought a back pod, and I don't recommend that if you have scoliosis. And I've done a video on that before, and there's a reason why. Because your spine is out of alignment. A back pod is just going to push it more out of alignment. So you need to get x-rays and find out where your curves are. And then my suggestion is to see a chiropractor and also a Schroth technique instructor. Schroth, spelled S-C-H-R-O-T-H. Schroth technique is specifically for scoliosis. If you want to correct your scoliosis, that's the best way to do it, along with chiropractic care. And if you're really lucky, you'll get a chiropractor that's certified in Schroth technique. Much harder to find, but they're out there. Okay, so again, your pelvis is out of alignment. I'm going to correct that. I know you did not come in here for lower back pain, but let's have your right side up. The spine works together, so even the feet affect the spine. So it's a kinetic chain from the ground up. Okay, and blow out. Okay, great. And the other side up. Okay, and lay on your stomach. He was to the point where he was taking PPI, but they were giving it to him thinking it was this hiatal hernia that was causing his chest pain, right? Yep. Otherwise, why would you give somebody PPIs that has, omeprazole? Why would you give somebody that if they're just having acid reflux once or twice a week, That seems a bit extreme to me. So I think he just got misdiagnosed, but then he went to the hospital, I think, and a nurse picked up on it, right? That you had costochondritis, and that's when he started doing his research. And this is often what happens, right? So it's not until most people think they're having a heart attack, and I'm going to touch on that. He had EKGs, multiple EKGs, right?
Yeah,
two EKGs. You have a stress test also?
Verbal stress test.
Okay. So, I mean, initially they thought heart, and that's what they do. They want to rule that out. And again, I've said that's okay. Rule out the heart condition, get an EKG, a stress test, whatever you need to do there. But once that's ruled out, the doctors should know at that point that you have costochondritis. And a lot of doctors just don't know, especially in the ER, just don't know what costochondritis is, or just so many conditions in the human body that it's hard to remember all the different various diseases and conditions. They just a lot of them just don't know, or so this particular nurse knew, right?
Yep.
And who knows, maybe that nurse had a little musculoskeletal background, or she worked in a PT center, or you just don't know what her background is, but she picked up on it, and kudos to her, because hospitals and medical doctors are the worst at treating and diagnosing musculoskeletal diseases. I'm not making that up. That was actually a report done, I think in U.S. job reports, and they did a huge study, and they showed that medical doctors are way behind in treating and diagnosing musculoskeletal issues. They just do the cookie cutter approach by sending you to a PT, right? So, relax here. And in this situation, you did do physical therapy, correct?
Yes.
So he did PT, and I'll tell you why PT didn't work. PT didn't work because it's not just musculoskeletal, right? It's skeletal. So part of it's the muscles, a small part of it. But for him, the majority of the issue is his spine. And again, the ribs attached to the spine wrap around the body and attached to the breastbone. So if the spine is out of alignment due to scoliosis, so are the ribs and the chest here too. So we have to address the thoracic spine, and physical therapists don't adjust the spine. So, okay, take a deep breath in and blow out. Good. We're just going to loosen up the muscles here in the mid-back for him. So yesterday he had really good results from one visit, and I did not adjust his ribs yesterday. I held off on that. I wanted to see how he did with the thoracic spine, adjusting a little bit of soft tissue work. And we'll probably do the same thing today. He does have some ribs out of alignment. Yes, I can correct and adjust them from the back, but oftentimes I have to adjust from the front as well, okay? Sensitive?
Yeah, a little bit.
And maybe here?
Yeah. As we start going out, we set the motion too.
So when I gave you a lacrosse ball to use,
Yep.
you can use it on both sides, to be honest, okay? They're both tight, especially here. Do not use the back pod.
Okay.
You can use a foam roller instead.
Okay.
The reason why I don't want you to use the back pod is because of the shape of it. So the foam roller is going to be straight across your back this way, right?
Yep.
And you're going to just roll in through here and get that, help yourself with that hyperkyphosis, that bent over posture, which is only aggravating his hiatal hernia, right? It drops the diaphragm down. So a foam roller is going to do two things. It's going to help you with the scoliosis, kind of take a little bit of the rotation out, the hyperkyphosis or the bent over posture right through here. It's also going to help you with your, not only your costochondritis, but your hiatal hernia as well. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, take a deep breath in and blow all the way out. And again, deep breath in and blow all the way out. And relax this shoulder here. Relax your neck. Good. Okay, turn over on your back. Okay. Tuck your chin down. Take a deep breath in. And blow all the way out. And one more deep breath in. Blow out. And relax your head back. Okay. And slide back up. Were you getting headaches regularly?
No, not frequently.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to have you stand up and face me. So what I'm doing now, folks, is I'm just checking his clavicle, make sure that's balanced. I'm going to have you lay on your back here. And his ribs were really tender just to the touch. So we're just going to check that. How are we doing here?
Still a little tender, but
Okay, 1 to 5. 5 being the most tender.
like 2 or 3.
Okay, here,
About 2, so
here.
1.
That was a lot worse
Yeah, that
yesterday when you first came in.
That was like a
These might be a
4.
little bit. What's that one?
2.
A
3.
2, okay. Those were probably a 5 yesterday or a
it was-
4.
I was in pain when
Yeah.
you touched it.
And here?
1.
Okay. So that's, if these were still a 4 or a 5, I would adjust his ribs in the front near the sternum at the chondral joint, you know, where the cartilage and the ribs meet. But I'm not going to do that yet because he's responded really well. And especially it's also the weekend. So I don't want to give him a flare up over the weekend or anything like that. And yesterday it worked really well, what we did. Sometimes less is better. And here? No. Okay, good. Okay, we're not doing the hiatal hernia maneuver on you until next week, until we see how the heart is. Let's check your heart rate. Let's see what that is.
76.
76.
I
So
came
there
in
you
at 110. So
Yeah, there you go. Now, I guess the big test will be is if he can walk around this weekend, walk around the city and stuff. If you guys have any comments or questions about costochondritis or hiatal hernia, even though we didn't treat his hiatal hernia today, feel free to comment below and ask us any questions. Thanks for tuning in.